What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to another custom maps show match. A show match that you really loved. We already could see the couple of games that I've uploaded from the previous show match. This time around, we're going to have Salami back. He's going to be playing in the blue colors. And on the right side, we'll have Core coming up. This is a new 5-game show match that we're going to see today, and it is going to feature some new maps as well. Some of those were released after the first show match, and we basically decided to put up a second one to work with. And we're starting off with Socotra, a map that just is associated with craziness. This is a traditional Age of Empires 2 map, but this is not a tournament map by any means. This is a map that is just all about that craziness. As you see, most of the map is just empty water with completely no fish, which means that this is a map where the water is pretty much meaningless, or at least it's supposed to be meaningless. And the idea is that the players are just confined into this tiny island for some very much close quarters combat. Spawning in on the northern side is going to be Salami playing as the blue Holy Roman Empire, and on the right side it is going to be Core playing as the red English. So one civilization that's known for being very aggressive early on, the English, whereas on the other side you have the HRE, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not exactly sure what Salami plans to do with this civilization. For now, he's pushing in the deer under his town center, the deer patch is being rather close. In fact, I do believe that this deer patch might belong to his opponent, because both of the deer patches are, as you see, quite far away from the town centers. If this is the deer patch that belongs to Salami, this is the one that should belong to Core. Obviously, not necessarily a great position for those deer to be in for Core, but it is what it is. I do have to highlight, as I said, that these random map scripts are, first of all, made by volunteers. Second, they're made by people that are still just now learning map scripting. So don't expect them to be perfect, but obviously, it's a great thing to see some new maps hitting the field here. So Core is going to open with 3 on gold, standard 6 on food for him. 2 on the wood already, he's getting close to feudal age, whereas on the other side, of course, you have Salami mining gold with that forward gold. Both players do have forward golds, and as you see, there's gonna be a ton of aggression coming out from both of these players, because this map is just so tight, so small. Look at this. The players are basically in one screen here when you look at their gold mines. This is the distance that we're talking about. And you could ask why this map is designed this way, and there is no clear answers. This is just the traditional Socotra look. The entire concept of the map is that the players are sort of confined into some very tight quarters, and it's going to be all about that craziness, all about that aggression. Definitely not going to be much defensive gameplay here. Looks like Wheelbarrow is coming in for Core on the right side, so he focuses a bit on the economy, which is a little surprising on a map like this, where it's all about that aggression. Aachen Chapel coming up for Salami, perfect spot for it. As you see, it is going to affect the gold miners, it's going to affect the villagers under the town center, and also lumberjacks. Meanwhile, on the other side, there is no landmark coming up for Core. I'm really puzzled why he's going so late into feudal age. You would think that on this map that might be suicidal. Now, I'm not exactly sure what Salami wants to do here with his feudal age, as we do have a bit of a scuffle in the middle between the two scouts. Salami seems to have the lead in this scout war here. Yep, he definitely has the lead. Core is not pulling his scout though, and I think Salami is going to swing that sword a little faster. But would you look at that? The two scouts just kill each other. Looks like the swords were swung basically at the same time, and with that, both players lose their scouts. Not something that you see every day. Salami is going to add the second scout here. I wonder if Core is going to do the exact same thing. Looks like there is no scouts added by our red player. Instead, he's going for a council hall. He's building that with 4 vills. But if you look at the other side, Salami is almost up. He's like at 60-70%. Whereas on the other side, for our red player, Core, he is still at around just 30-40% at maximum. He's got a mill, and I wonder if he's going to go heavy on the farming, which could be a little risky. My question has just been answered, there is the farms. So this could be a little risky, because obviously it's going to be a great source of food for you, but you also have to consider the fact that it's going to be quite exposed. The good news is that the English have great early aggression with those longbows, and that is something that Salami will have to respond to. It could be with men-at-arms, it could be with horsemen, but you have to consider something for cavalry on this map in general. Mobility isn't that big of a factor because the map is so tiny. And there is the forward tower. It's a very aggressive tower coming in here from Core. I wonder if this is Salami. Yeah, it's within Salami's line of sight. This is what I wanted to check. And there is going to be a counter tower coming in here from Salami. He could technically pull villagers to kill this one and just stop this tower. But instead, he's going to drop his own outpost, and with that, he's going to have this defensive position. He could still cancel the outpost and get a full refund, and that is exactly what Core is doing. will drop a new tower on the right side. This is going to protect his gold mine. And it looks like Salami is mining stone. I assume it's going to be for defensive emplacements on those towers. Could be arrow slits. And it could very well be tower rush. If you think about that, tower rush, especially against the English that want to go for longbows, can be very powerful. And on this map, anything can happen because this is Socotra. Longbows are now coming in for core on the right side, as you see. Whereas for Salami, he seems to be just happy with one tower over here protecting his left flank. Nothing on the right side for defense. He does see the tower here. As you see, with the towers and the scouts, your line of sight is so big that you basically see right inside the enemy base. He's going to spot the tower, but he won't be able to stop it. Abandons the stone mine for a time being. Longbows are coming up for core, and for Salami, what is he up to? He doesn't have any military on the battlefield right now. He's still pushing in the deer, and he's going to have a good economy with the Holy Roman Empire here. Look at that, core is going to respond by killing the deer before they could be pushed in. And now he's going to open up against that scout. Nice move. He killed one deer out there, and with the longbow staying in here, he might be able to deny that carcass. That's some food taken away from the opponent here. Meanwhile, of course, he himself is going to have his food eco based on the farms. Coming out with a couple more longbows. Salami just now adding his first archer range here, but he has been banking up resources for some time, so you gotta wonder if he wants to get an early castle age here. You would think that on such a tight map, going for a fast castle is risky, but if there is any civilization that can pull it off, that might be the HRE. And then if you get to castle age, going for a couple of knights or just castle age men-at-arms for the HRE is not something that the English have a good response to. Speaking of good responses, there is going to be a blacksmith coming in though with the siege engineering upgrade for core. Salami is still far away from castle age, and if core just starts pushing this one with longbows and rams, this could be troublesome for Salami to defend. As you see, some of his hunt is already exposed to the longbows of the opponent. Core diving in, he's going to damage one villager. Looks like he isn't able to pick it off though. It's a delicate micro right now for core. He's microing back and forth trying to deny those carcasses. But even just denying 3 carcasses here is already a huge accomplishment. In fact, it's 4 carcasses that he's cutting away from the opponent. A deer patch is 7 deer by default, so taking away 4 out of those 7 carcasses is actually quite an accomplishment here for core. On the left side, you do have Salami coming up with a second archer range, so he's now going for double range archers. I don't think this is something that core has seen. Indeed, he has no idea about those archer ranges being placed right now, so this is going to come as a surprise for him. Army numbers, we're looking at 8 military for core. On the other side, only 5 for Salami. Salami is going for a tower fortification over here that's going to defend this position even more. He's got a huge resource bank, but he isn't really able to use it so far. He can't really go to castle age because he doesn't have food. And he can't really make a ton of army because he doesn't have wood. So he's a little bottlenecked over here, and here comes the battering ram. That tower is fortified and it does have arrow slits, but it doesn't mean that the ram can't take it down. And the moment it gets taken down, Salami would be cut off from gold. Ram is going to say knockity knockity. It's going to take some time until it takes down the tower, and core is going to use that time to heal up his longbows with the campfire. Salami doesn't seem too worried about this aggression so far. It is now going to be emergency repairs being popped. That's the reason why he wasn't scared. He knows that he can go for emergency repairs, and that's why this house is so helpful. Because this house is expanding the influence radius of the town center. You see it over here. Longbow is now committing against those villagers, archers coming out for Salami. And this house here is responsible for making sure that this tower can be affected by emergency repairs. As you see, this is the house that's connecting the influence radius of the town center to this tower here. So this is a very important house here for Salami. For now, he's got the archers protecting the gold miners, and now villagers are being pulled to take down the battering ram. Longbows will be called up though to try and pick off some of those villagers. It is going to be archer versus archer, but you have the network of castles bonus affecting core's longbows. He's trying to keep the distance, and he's focusing villagers. He doesn't care about his longbows, he just wants to kill villagers, and this is something that Salami is going to recognize. He's going to fall back with the vills. Now it's going to be a trade of archers, but this is something that the longbowmen are winning, thanks to the fact that they do have the outposts supporting them. And with that, it looks like it's a big win for core. If we look at the military, it's 11 kills to 6 losses here for core. And Salami, now he's out of food. His food count isn't looking spectacular. Salami has just moved to the north to take some berries. But suddenly he's the one struggling for food, not the player that had a tough time accessing the hunt. Two battering rams now coming out. A couple of villagers are garrisoned inside. They're also being called up to repair. But of course, the moment they pop out of that tower, they would be killed by the longbows. So they'll have to stay inside, just provide some extra firepower. Now they flee for their lives as the rams are taking down the tower. Emergency repairs is once again available, and it will be popped by Salami. So once again, emergency repairs will slow this down. But once that disappears, this tower should be going down. Gonna get all the way back up to like 2000 HP even, potentially. Yup. It's basically up to 2000. This is how powerful emergency repairs are. Some might call it borderline broken, but now you're gonna have to wait a tiny bit until you can pop it again. And as you see, the outpost is slowly getting taken down by two battering rams. Longbows creeping closer and closer. Looking at Castle Ages, neither of the players are close. This is gonna be a full Feudal Age combat. Longbows looking to pick off a villager, so far unsuccessful. Tower is now on fire. Emergency repairs not there yet. And with that, Salami is going to lose that tower, and he's likely going to lose that house as well. Rams now diving in. They will be just sent to soak up some arrow fire from the opponent at this point. They're going straight towards the Aachen Chapel. Villagers might be pulled here by Salami. Indeed, he's pulling the ladies, he's pulling the gentlemen, as the archers and the longbows will trade off against each other. Rams are a little stuck over here, surrounded by the archers, so one of those battering rams cannot retreat. And with that, it is going to be one battering ram lost by core here. Villagers were sent to take down the other battering ram. But of course, Salami is also losing quite a lot of villagers here in this battle. That's not going to help him. He also lost most of his archers, and now his wood line, his gold mine are exposed. He was struggling with food, and now he could be cut off from wood and gold, and that would be a disaster indeed. Core shows no signs of slowing down. He's coming in with longbows again. He picks off the scout, and now the lumberjacks of Salami are wide open for killing. And with that, Core is now in a great position to push this even further. A stable is being added by Salami, but you gotta wonder if he's gonna be able to afford a lot of horsemen with no access to wood. And, well, there is a backup wood line up north. He could use this one, but he's gonna have to flee for his life. He's currently sitting at 32 villagers, as opposed to his opponent Core sitting at 42, so there is a considerable villager lead as well for Core. But of course, on the other side, you have Salami with the Aachen Chapel affecting the villagers. Speaking of which, the Aachen Chapel is being burned down as we speak. New battering ram being built by Core. Salami is gonna have to take a decisive fight here, and he can do that with some horsemen. He has the blacksmith, and he's grabbing the defense upgrade for the pierce armor of those cavalry units. Emergency repairs once again popping to repair the Aachen Chapel for the time being. But at this point, for Salami, it's all about massing those horsemen, massing those archers, grabbing the defense upgrade, and then taking one decisive engagement. Because if Salami is able to survive this initial push, he's not far away from Castle Age. Of course, it's still a bit of a distant dream, especially as he's running out of the berries. And the thing is that if you look at the line of sight for Core, Core pretty much sees any villagers moving out towards those hunts. So, the moment Salami moves out for the hunt, Core would be able to see it and send some longbows there. Emergency repairs effect worn off, which means that now the Aachen Chapel is wide open for those battering rams. 10 seconds until emergency repairs, but the Aachen Chapel is now heavily being damaged. It's on fire. It is 3 battering rams knocking on it, and emergency repairs is just a little too late to the party. The landmark goes down, and suddenly Salami is on a timer, because believe it or not, it is the only landmark that he has. The town center, that's the only landmark still standing, and it is 3 battering rams that are knocking on it. Salami, for now, he's going to be fine with this. He can delay this push as much as possible with emergency repairs, but he's gonna have to wait for a critical mass of horsemen and archers to pile up here. He's moving out for a hunt as we speak, hoping that Core is distracted and he won't notice this. He pops emergency repairs right now, but that means that he's gonna have to take this fight in the next 1 minute or so at latest, because that town center is heavily being damaged by 3 battering rams. Longbows also increasing in numbers, and now we're talking about 34 longbows. That's no joke out there. And they're also being affected by the network of castles bonus thanks to this tower. The map is so tiny that the network of castles is still something that's here, affecting all the longbows. And here comes the cavalry. Palings were temporarily deployed, but then Core just decides to retreat. He's going to focus down most of those horsemen. Villagers are being pulled to take down the battering rams, but the numbers don't seem to be sufficient here for Salami. Cavalry goes down, longbow number is still better than the archer numbers. The rams will be taken down, but the town center is on fire and there is no emergency repairs just yet. Town center just a second away from being destroyed. Emergency repairs was popped the last second by Salami. He was just this close to losing that town center. Longbows are still pushing in deep though, and there is no army to stop them. Another battering ram was taken down, so it looks like Salami lives to see another day here. Miraculous hold, really, by our blue player. He was 1 second away from losing that TC. He popped emergency repairs in the last second. And then, this way, he was able to push back the rams. He was able to take down 2 battering rams out of the 3. But now, 2 more rams are coming in, and the problem for Salami is that he's not moving forward. He's holding a position, but that's basically it. Three rams once again coming in, emergency repairs just 10 seconds away from restoration. But once again, you have what seems to be... yeah, just a bunch of villagers inside that TC, which means that they either jump out to repair, jump out to take down the battering rams, or they fire at the longbows. Longbows once again opening up on the villagers. Villagers are being taken down left and right. Salami is trying to delay this one as much as possible, buying himself time for some more horsemen and archers to be built. But the numbers are increasing much faster for Core than they are for Salami. So as you see, Salami is currently sitting at just 12 military, and Core is sitting at 43. And that is going to be battering ram number 4 coming in. Core isn't messing around. In fact, he is ready to push that town center again. Salami is going to use this little peaceful moment to come out of his TC. Now Core is getting close to Castle Age though. Salami, he has pretty much spent all his resources on making this hold happen, which means that he's nowhere close to Castle Age. If we get to Castle, of course, for Core, he should be able to win this game, no problem. In fact, a forward white tower could be a possibility. Just imagine a white tower being here. Speaking of towers, this tower here for Core is something that's helping him immensely. You see, on such a tiny map, the effect of the network of castles bonus is huge. Basically, the entire map is covered by this one tower, which means that the longbows are pretty much always affected. 5 battering rams now coming in here. That's way too much even for emergency repairs to handle. Looks like Salami is gonna have to take this fight here. He's coming in with the cavalry, coming in with the archers. No paling so far by the longbows. Instead, they decide to just retreat, focus fire on those horsemen. Most of the cavalry is gone. Villagers being pulled to take down battering rams once again. Archers trying to pursue the longbows of Core here, but Core is going to pick them off one by one, and now he has the time to focus on the villagers. Villagers will have to retreat, still 5 battering rams standing, and Salami is sacrificing everything he has to make this hold happen. I don't think it's possible. There is one battering ram that's very weak, he might be able to snap that down, but the town center is barely standing, and realistically speaking, Salami is at 31 villagers. He's pulling everything. He's pulling everything here, I believe. Emergency repairs now pops. The longbows finally commit under the town center as they will focus down the rest of those archers. Villagers flanking to the left side, they'll probably try to jump on those battering rams from the left. But there is so many longbows over here that they don't care about the town center fire anymore. They will just focus down those newly spawning archers and horsemen. Villagers now going against the rams here. Salami has to take them down. He has to take them down because the town center is now lit on fire, barely standing. Villagers are being sent in to repair, but I do believe that the villagers will just have to sacrifice themselves to try and save the game for Salami, but that's not gonna happen. The town center gets burned down, and with that, Salami is going to lose game number 1 here to Core. Core taking down the town center, going in with the aggression of the English. Not exactly sure what Salami was thinking about with the HRE here, but in the end, it is going to be Core taking the first game here. Big win, and you could see why Socotra is a special map in many ways. Narrow quarters, tight quarters, and it makes it very aggressive. In fact, I think we could have seen some more aggression here. I could have imagined something like Chinese tower rushes, maybe even Mongol tower rushes over here. But the English aggression is something that's very difficult to stop over here, especially with the Holy Roman Empire. Salami gets taken down in game number 1, and will continue the set with another custom map.